We're at the INSEAD Leadership Summit Europe, celebrating the school's 50th anniversary, and we're joined with Wolfgang Marguerre, and he's the owner and the chairman of Octapharma. Thank you for being with us on INSEAD Knowledge. Octapharma basically makes plasma products.
Yes.
What is the market? Who uses these?
These are plasma derivatives from human blood that you either take directly from a donor or you take it from blood from a donation, and then you separate it and take the red cells for the direct clinical use, and let's call it the yellow stuff, which is plasma, for either transfusion or industrial plasma. And industrial plasma is what we're dealing with. We are freezing that plasma. We have to bring it into our factories and separate it into its own fractions. And there are three main fractions. It's all proteins, of course. One is albumin proteins that go into intensive care units for just fluid treatment. Then you have coagulation factors. That is, if you are, for instance, a hemophilic patient, you will need the proteins missing to help your cascade to function, your coagulation cascade. And the third one is gamma globulins, which are very widely used worldwide in many, many indications. And those three main product lines are fractionated in our plants in Europe. It's really biotechnology at its highest level. And this whole industry is extremely well organized to create and to produce optimal products for safety purposes for all the patients that are in need of this treatment.
So you're really you're talking about maybe accident victims, or, as you say, hemophiliacs, or
can
people
be
in operations?
Hereditary diseases. It can be acquired situations where you don't have enough gamma globulins or some other proteins that are lacking, and it can be accidents. Yes.
So where does it come from? Where do you get the actual blood? You have to get it from humans.
Of course.
And you said you basically get it in the U.S. and Europe, or
in
how
the U.S. and Europe, they have Germany, Scandinavia, and the U.S. have the best system to control safety and quality standards by the authorities. So we will only use plasma from these regions.
And how do you develop products? I mean, is this something that you would develop some new products?
Yes.
And if so, what and how?
Every manufacturer in this area has to have his own research and development for many, many reasons. You have to make sure that the proteins you're using are perfectly purified, so that the patient in need gets really only what he requires and nothing else, as that can be even dangerous. And secondly, that these products are completely clean and safe of foreign pathogens. For instance, hepatitis or HIV even can be transmitted by these products if you're not extremely careful. And that is the reason that the authorities have a very, very close look to these companies.
The future of healthcare, and by future it could be next year, it could be 5 years, but there certainly seem to be some changes, especially in the way people are paying for it. How do you see the future developing?
These products are life-saving drugs, and they will be required for some patient groups as a lifelong therapy, for others only in acute treatment. But there are no other alternatives. These are the products available.
And presumably they're covered by most insurance companies.
Yes, they have to be, as they're very expensive. But that is also the other part of the same coin. There are many countries who simply cannot afford to provide this kind of level of treatment to their population, yet at least. And it sounds easy when you say, well, plasma should be available enough. You just go to your population, your country, you collect the plasma, and then you will be in good shape and you make those products. That's not the case. The last 20 years, most of those smaller institutions have disappeared due to quality concerns, to safety issues, and also to quality of the product as such. So today there's only a handful of companies left worldwide who provide these products. But these products are pretty large.
How did you get interested in this? It doesn't seem like the kind of thing that would just sort of happen.
At the time when the HIV crisis struck the world, you certainly heard about those blood scandals and things like that. I invested the little money I had into research to developing something that would make these products really safe against all lipid-coated pathogens, which included HIV, HCV, HBV, and many of today's other pathogens that we know. And this method, which I developed, I believed in it as I talked to the right person at that time, is the start of my company.
Now, what role, perhaps, did INSEAD play in helping you make those choices?
I believe the most important. INSEAD was the school where I went to after I had a totally German education, which I cherish, and I love my education. But I was very German. Studied economy, studied Kaufmann, and all those things. And it changed my life, as it changed my view on what I had to do and my way of thinking by not having just my systematic German view, which I don't think is so wrong, but it has to be balanced with views of many other people, British, Americans, Japanese, Chinese ways of attacking the same problems, thinking differently about solutions, and understanding that. And I have an extremely good experience, or memory, I should say, from this year with many, many nationalities in one campus right here.
Thank you very much for being
Thank
with
you.
us on INSEAD Knowledge.